Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third and final round at the 2021 Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships, presented by Discmania. We're heading back to Purple Park, where it all began just 2 days earlier. Our lead card consists of Liz, Kristina, along with Jenny, who we've seen each of the last two rounds, and also Sandra from last round. Looks like we're having fun. We got a 12-person women's division here in the FPO, and Erikah is joining us again. Erikah, man, beautiful day, Sunday, Purple Park. I don't know if it gets any better than this.
Honestly, I don't know how it can. The wind was down, the sun was out, we've got good vibes, great energy on the card, so I am looking forward to watching all 18 holes with you, Terry.
We got Kyle getting things kicked off, him along with Ray Woodruff and yourself, all the three-headed tournament monster, three-headed
that was us,
tournament directing
right?
monster, yes.
Yeah, learning from the best, for sure, but it was my job to set the cards off on hole one, and then Kyle's like, you gotta go warm up, so he kicked me out and took over the job for me, which was great. We saw Liz tee off there. If you tuned into the first round, you'll know that this is a compromised hole one. We definitely had a different tee plan, but we just needed to make some changes from a safety perspective for our neighbors out in the town of Superior. So it is a little crowded on that tee box, but we're making it work.
Certainly, and opening up with a birdie opportunity here at 203 feet. So Sandra with her shot that veered off to the left. We're going to see Jenny go with a forehand.
Yeah, and Jenny's out there representing RPM Discs today. So good to see her again here in Colorado. I think this was her second Colorado event. We're always happy to have her.
And the only competitor that we're going to see all three rounds of here this weekend. And she's right in the hunt. And then joining the card for our first time as well, we're seeing Kristina Gold out of Texas. I believe she's actually eligible to play in an age-protected division, but opted to play in the FPO, and she's got like 45 wins already to her name. So quite the competitor out of Texas.
Definitely. And, you know, out at Valmont yesterday, she took it down with a -8. So I think she tied one of the best rounds out there. So we're really excited to see her play on the lead card today.
A little bit low on her opening birdie bid.
Then we've got Liz Torok. So Liz was also an assistant TD. She serves with me on the Mile High disc golf board, and hopefully during this round, we're going to see Liz put away some pretty amazing putts. She is an incredible putter.
Jenny just standing down for a moment as the gallery gets in place. Oh, just off the front. Good line, good luck, but short.
Definitely. Yeah. We're just letting the players, you know, settle into their rhythm, find their routine. Everybody's in contention. You know, when we see scores that look like this on the lead card, we know that every shot counts, every putt counts. So just excited to see what the competitors do today. I was on the course, so I didn't get to walk along and see. So this is all new to me as well.
Yeah, and like you said, this entire card all within 3 or 4 strokes of one another going after it for Sunday afternoon. So excited to see what unfolds. Now, Liz with keeping the honors and playing the second longest hole on the course, 458 feet.
Yeah, this is, I would say it's probably a junior dog leg to the right-hand side. You definitely do not want to find yourself on the right-hand side to the tee or you will be in trouble. But we'll see our players head down a little bit at that valley, finish off to the left-hand side to give themselves an open opportunity at an upshot to the basket.
And I somewhat pan over there. It's a little bit protected, but ultimately, like you were just saying, on that left side gives you plenty of room.
Definitely. Sandra picks a great line. Let's see if it's going to pan out, get around that tree. Takes her down. I thought she was going to make it out and around that side of that tree. Looked like a really nice release off the tee pad. Jenny is a beautiful throw. She kept it nice and low to match kind of the grade of the hill, but finishes out to the left. So she will have a nice open shot to the basket.
Low turnover that does finally fight out at the end. And I really like the idea of keeping it low, trying to keep the wind out of play and then not letting it fall off hard left. So she'll be probably closest to the pin with that shot.
Definitely. I think that was the line that Sandra was trying to execute, but kudos to Kristina for making it work. We've got Liz lining up a backhand approach shot here. As the camera pans, you'll see that we do have some guardian trees to contend with, but Liz seems to make it out, and she's on the dance floor, as Terry would say.
Well, she just throws it into the tree and it says, hey, I'm going to go right past it or right through it.
Slice and dice. We'll take it.
So much for a guardian.
Yeah. Great shot, Jenny. I thought she was going to put that in there.
Yeah, she has been really dialed in. When we saw her in the opening round, her approach shot was dead on. So she knows exactly what she wants to do when she dissects this hole. And here's Sandra playing the high, wide hyzer. I think that's one of her specialties, isn't it?
Oh, you know, Sandra, a dear, dear friend of mine, we do call her our hyzer queen. She loves to throw a good hyzer. It was great to see her dial that one in after she hit the tree on her drive. So well done.
Kristina left herself with a little work as that one hyzered out at the end of the flight. Oh, just off the
Right
front
on
of the cage.
Yeah. It's tough when you have the best drive and then you find yourself putting first.
Here's Liz for her par.
Liz has such a rock solid routine when it comes to her putting. You know, she has a lineup, she's got her rock back, she's got a great release. So great to see her hitting a relatively lengthy par putt to start off hole number 2. Hopefully she's gaining confidence as she works her way to hole number 3.
Couple of tap ins for the par. Kristina is going to give one back to the card. She's going to move over to +2. Big shout out to Ben over at Fairly Creative. He's been so helpful all of the years that I've been involved with the Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships. And now Liz trying to play conservative over to the right-hand side, and we'll play up that side of the fairway.
Yeah, hole 3 is tricky. You know, as far as distance is concerned, if it was wide open, we'd have all these players going for this green. But as you can see out there, we've got a low ceiling. If you go to the right, basically a tunnel shot. Everything in the reeds is out of bounds. You have a water carry, and it is open and exposed, so there does tend to be wind that you may not necessarily feel on the tee pad. So a lot of decisions being made by our players as soon as hole number 3.
Oh, that looks so good, and those leaves even kind of blended in, or those branches blended in. I thought that was going to be a perfect tee shot.
Yeah.
Oh, and everybody loves that. You hear the rest of the card all given the accolades, and as I'll pan back over, as you just said, a very protected green with OB just about everywhere. And if it's not an OB, there's some kind of obstacle.
Definitely. We'll work our way over there and see that there's bushes, there are rocks you can kick off of, there's even a little bit of a slope. So it is not, even if you get a good drive off, you're not done with your work yet. As Jenny puts it right by the pin, great upshot.
Yeah, and that's blind for her at that point. She's not able to see exactly where the pin was. That was just really picking a spot and throwing to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Liz kind of actually taking the same approach as Jenny. Well done. Both great hyzer shots that are going to fade just enough to put them very close to the basket.
Little bit short, but as you'll see in a moment, I believe that actually stays in bounds, even though there is a line over there, and certainly flirting with the inbounds area, or out of bounds area more so.
Yeah, the reeds, you know, year after year, when we come back to this course, this is a temporary course that's put into the ground for this event only every 2 years. So the reeds are growing. Sometimes the water's high, sometimes it's low. And it looks here, wow, that is, as a person that's been in that position and failed miserably, that was an amazing putt. Great job, Liz. Like we talked about, these bushes are sort of guarding that pin, but, you know, Liz did a great job with a straddle putt there. We see Kristina following suit for her par. Well done. You know, this hole, I think the par is very fair at being 297 feet with a par 3. But if you're walking away with a 3 here, you definitely feel like you're taking a stroke probably on the field.
Yeah, and actually Sandra had pitched up and then ultimately landed there. She tapped in and walked away with the bogey, and you see Jenny tapping in for the par. So 3 pars, Sandra with the bogey, and there'll be a brief walk as they head over to hole number 4. This one quite gettable at 247.
Absolutely. So what we may not see from the camera angle is the sidewalk that surrounds it. So you do have to be very careful with all 247 feet that you're planning to throw. It also is uphill. So we say 247 probably plays maybe like 275. I don't know if 300 would be accurate, but you've got the guardian trees. We can see the flags a little bit. There's a little bit of breeze to contend with. This actually also happens to be the CTP hole. It's sponsored by CTP Discs, and there will be a painted circle up there that can throw people off. It's not the circle. It's just a little bit of a game that we're trying to land in there and get be eligible for a prize from the disc store. So.
And Kristina off to the left side. We've seen 2 to the left, 1 to the right. We'll see if Sandra can split the difference. And it's up the middle, but it looks a little light.
Yeah, a little bit short. So the branches do tend to hang down from those pines, but maybe she'll give herself a look at that birdie there. Jenny was a little bit cut off with her swing. I think, thinking about the branches, potentially going out of bounds on the sidewalk. So we see her land outside of maybe circle 1. Those big puffy clouds in the background remind me of Toy Story, the wallpaper, as we're watching Liz line up a great putt. Good effort.
She'll have to settle for par. Here we have Sandra with her birdie look. This is probably about 42, maybe 45 feet or so.
Good run at it. Good safe bid. Even though we see our competitors very close with their score, you don't have to make any heroic choice on hole 4, right? You don't want to throw it away. So if you think you can go for it, take advantage of those times. But otherwise, I think playing safe is probably the name of the game.
Yeah, it's easy to let it go a little too far. And the next thing you know, you're out of bounds with the sidewalk and just adding stress and pressure to yourself. So that's Jenny for her par. And
Great
just
bid.
off the cage.
So close. It's tough when you hit a tree early, to try to recover from it. Again, with that sidewalk being out of bounds, that upshot just can't be too far. It has to be placed really well. So good effort on her part to try to save that par. Sandra with a slide tap in there.
If that's not enthusiastic, I don't know what is, right?
She's chock full of it. I love it.
And we see the battle will continue between her and Liz. Jenny's going to fall 1 off the pace of the 2 of them. So 3, 2, and 1 under respectively. And we're going to head over to hole number 5. This has plenty of danger.
Definitely. Again, park boundaries come into play. We see these sidewalks that are wrapping around where the pin is, just like on hole 4. This one, we do have a bit of a guardian pine, so it's not quite a tunnel shot, but you're definitely directed on what you can throw. And then we do have some elevation. So players are throwing from high to low, trying to make it out to that landing zone, and then facing a pretty precarious upshot to keep them in bounds.
Really like the turn. She could have used even more so, but that's a good safe shot.
Definitely. I mean, this one is challenging. So, we see the cars in the background. If you're going to throw that Anheuser and let's say you lift it, there's a little bit of a gust of a wind or it comes out wrong, you could find yourself out of bounds. So I think the safer play is to kind of head out towards the left-hand side. There I am, letting Jenny know she's good.
Speaking of the left-hand side, that one got away from her, hyzered out almost onto the tee. And now Kristina will be first to act, leaving just a little bit of work there.
Yeah.
Jenny about the same distance.
Yeah, so Jenny, she's sort of throwing across this lower portion of the fairway, and she parks it. Well done. We've got Liz with an upshot here. Liz is definitely very backhand dominant. So, woo, sit down. Okay. So she went for it, which was lovely, and it stayed in bounds. So best of both worlds there for Liz. And Sandra actually has a putt at it.
Slight uphill somewhere from circle 2, and she comes up a little short, but really no harm, no foul.
Nope. You know, at that point, you can kind of take a safe run. Oh, I see the Rosenbaums in the background. Hey, guys. Jason and his wife, Alex, are big supporters of the tournament. They always buy a basket. So good to see them out here with their kiddos supporting women's disc golf.
He's got the front row vantage point over there.
That's right. I think this is their basket, so they're taking some pictures of it.
That makes perfect sense. And we see Sandra tap in for her par. Liz, about the same distance. She'll actually get to bring it in if she is within a meter of the sidewalk there. It looks like she's about that.
Definitely. And I think this is one of the better par threes that we have on the course. You know, like we talked about, there's some elevation, the distance. If you took a birdie here, that would definitely be gaining strokes on the field. So nice to see our lead card taking some pars and moving on to hole number 6 here after we have a couple folks, maybe a little bit more than the tap in, but I think Jenny's got it.
Jenny will remain 2 off of Liz, 1 from Sandra. And Kristina, will tap in for the bogey.
CTP Disc offers Pro Day every month. Come on down for hands-on tips and instructions for all skill levels. Each month, a different pro will be on hand teaching new techniques to up your game. CTP also has a Lost and Found program. Bring in a lost disc and receive $3 in-store credit. Find your disc at ctpdisc.com. Open every day, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. CTP Disc. Each disc, a better game.
We're going to move on. Like you said, hole number 6 involves a water carry, and we saw a little bit of wind here in the opening round. It doesn't seem quite as forceful here on Sunday.
Definitely not. I mean, if we look off to the right-hand side, we can see the trees moving for Liz, but it's nothing like the headwind we faced on Friday. So she makes a great choice, kind of hanging it out there, let it finish back. That tree is wrapped as a mandatory tree with a line that stretches back. So if at all possible, you really do want to hug that right side, but you need to be careful because the trees that are over there, I've definitely seen them knock some discs down and land you in the water. Then you would proceed to a drop zone that is pretty challenging. So the fact that we've got 2 of our 4 competitors safely over the water, it's good news for the lead card.
Good rip by Jenny. Also gets her safely onto the other side.
When we've got Kristina, so knowing that she's a Texas player, the wind, the wind should be something that she's very familiar with down in Texas. Looks like she plays a great hyzer to a nice landing zone there. Everybody is safe across.
Still have a little bit of work to do. Like you said, the initial part of the hole is complete. That's the first task. And now keeping a low shot that comes into the pin, but also goes to the right of the Mando.
Yeah.
So you got a few obstacles here.
Well, I think more than just a few. Jenny is navigating a grill, a trash can, and a mandatory tree to get herself up there. So well done on her part. You know, it is tough. You know, they're there on the green, but like you said, there still is work to be done.
That is a solid approach shot by Kristina. A little bit short, but again, a lot of things to contend with between where the lie is and the basket.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a nice shot by Sandra. do we get a little fist bump there?
She loves it.
Yeah, and she and Liz were in a very similar position. So let's see how Liz executes this upshot.
Stand still, a little short and left. but still makeable putt here, as you see, just about 18, maybe 22 feet.
Definitely. And like I said, putting is one of Liz's strengths. I know that she's got a basket in the backyard. She hits up local putting leagues in the winter. So
Let's see if it pays off and just
shucks.
a little aggressive.
A little bit high.
And Jenny just a foot or two probably closer than what Liz was.
There we go. Great shot. Look, she's got pairs that she's navigating on the ground, too. She's overcome a lot of obstacles for that par. Great job, Jenny.
I'd be remiss to not mention how apparently apparent.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I don't know. Okay. Liz now for the bogey. And just like that, it's going to get even closer between her and Sandra. They're a third of the way through the course, the championship on the line. And as of this moment, they're all knotted up, both at 2 under. And Jenny right there as a contender as well.
Definitely. Great par from Kristina.
Jenny a little extra to play for. I believe her significant other and Patrick Brown was celebrating his birthday this very day. And I think Sammy Joe celebrated a birthday during our opening round. I think we neglected to get that mention in there, but happy birthday to Sammy Joe.
There we go. Well done, Sammy. She's entering a new age bracket.
There you go. And a nice hyzer shot there by Sandra, and here's Jenny, excuse me, trying to make a correction. We saw her go out of bounds the first round.
Yes, so good on her for keeping it nice and steady there. Hyzer seems to be the popular play for the lead card today. So the wind was down. Again, these players are throwing from a higher to lower elevation. There is a pretty, I won't call it severe slope, but it's definitely noticeable. So you've got to watch that angle, the way the disc is coming in, as well as your speed.
This looks a little wide. We'll see if that stays in bounds or not. And yeah, she was right. She thought it was OB, and it was. So she'll get to bring it back in bounds, or where she was last in bounds. And this is an opportunity to save the par.
Definitely. She was able to bring it in, but oh, wow, great effort. Maybe those branches that are a little bit low lying there changed her line.
Jenny picks up the birdie.
Well done. Stress-free birdie. Those are the ones we like.
And it's really easy to be deceived by the ground there. There's actually some sprinkler covers that are out there. So they always look like disc and really confuse people, myself included, even though I've seen them for a number of years, right?
Gets me every time I play this hole. I'm convinced it's somebody else. And I'm like, oh, it's me. Sorry. I'll jump up and putt real quick. But you can see the danger the players were placing. Like the manhole position, I've seen a player skip off the manhole into the street. It's like a perfect ace run, and then it just jets off into traffic. So it's a tough hole.
Well, and a 2-stroke swing for our leaders in Liz and Sandra. You see that Sandra moves to 3 under, and Liz with the bogey goes back to 1 under. Meanwhile, Jenny then slides into second at 2 under. And I'm about 2/3 of the way, maybe 3/4 of the way on this 232-footer, slightly uphill. And it's blind, which is why I'm over here trying to get the catch position.
Definitely. And players have their choice as far as, do they want to attack it with an up the gut shot? Do they want to try an anhyzer that'll pan out? Or do they want to trust their hyzers to sort of fade back in? The danger is putting it too far out by the sidewalk. But Kristina seems to navigate both that sidewalk and trees very well. So she's got herself a look.
We'll see how Liz can bounce back. She picked up the bogey on the previous hole.
It looks like she chose to go more up the middle, which very successful shot for her. So let's see what she can do.
And this, I know I said it in round 1. I feel like unless you're essentially where Liz had thrown to, it's just such a protected green because of this one particular tree that it's almost impossible to give anything a run.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, you can see that trunk's pretty wide and then the branches definitely splay out. So where Kristina is, she gave herself a good opportunity. It looks like she's just off the rim there, but you know, we've got a little bit of distance behind the pin, and then you've got a sidewalk, we've got more trees. So again, a nod to the course designers for putting the pin in a precarious position. There you go, Liz. There's a birdie.
Yeah, we saw her with bogeys on 6 and 7, but then turns around and answers with a birdie here on 8. Sandra trying to answer, and she does. And that's going to maintain the lead that she had, the 2-stroke lead over Liz.
There we go. Yeah, so, you know, two out of our 4 lead card competitors picking up birdies. Then we've got 2 other folks here that are looking at pars. So it's a pretty even hole for our women's competitors.
And Kristina will tap in for the par as we head into the final hole of the front 9. And we talked about this. This is a bonus at 367 feet with plenty of obstacles.
Definitely. You can see Sandra waving her arm over there to the left-hand side. So we've got some light poles from the park. We've got the road on the left-hand side, sidewalk to the right-hand side, and then the tall trees. So players really do have to pick a lane and try to execute that shot. The first part of the hole is executing that drive, and then from there they'll have to see where their placement was to see how they're going to attack that approach shot to a pretty guarded basket.
See a slight headwind as well, not helping on one of the more difficult tee shots.
Definitely. I'm sure these players are kind of stabling up. So this is a wind that they likely haven't thrown in yet. So we're on an opposite side of the course. There's some water features that are in the play off to the right-hand side. Anytime they come up, we can also feel a little bit more breeze coming off of them as well. So they're getting adjusted to the back portion.
I love the turnover, not quite enough turn, but still, it bounces out for her, and she'll have a look to save the par. And what I'd like for you guys to look into the comment section and type out your favorite Discmania disc. They are the presenting sponsor of the event. So I'd like to know whether it's one you throw already or one you'd like to try and possibly win, or you're seeking out. Put in your favorite Discmania disc in the comments. Once you've liked and shared and subscribed and you enter that will make you eligible to win a disc. I'll even make it a Discmania disc that I'll send out to you. It might not be your favorite, but it'll be a Discmania disc for sure.
You got some of that new Italian plastic, Terry?
Of course I do. I've got all the goodies and all the gracious people that like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Like I said, it makes you eligible. So I'd love to give something away. A big shout out to yourself, Erikah, along with Kyle and Ray and the Mile High Club and all the presenting sponsors and supporters of this event, the Rocky Mountain Women's. Just truly one of the best events in the country year after year that it's held.
Yeah, well, thanks, Terry. And we really appreciate the fact that you clear out your calendar every other year to be out here. We don't rarely have, big media companies that can come out to film us. We have a couple up and coming, with the blossoming of disc golf as it's been, as we see Kristina nail a great par putt. Well done. So thank you, and to your girls for carving out your weekend to come spend it with us.
They have a great time, and I continue to tell the entire world this is one of the best possible women's events you could attend, or one of the best events, period, women's or otherwise. But you guys certainly spoil everyone as we're seeing Liz take the par. And
yeah, they had a pretty good caddy this year, didn't they, for their round?
Oh, they sure did. A couple of them. They're year in and year out. Yourself and we see Dave, my good buddy Dave, once in a while has been out here. Jeff Hungerford, so many incredible people.
Yeah, it's always great to see smiles on faces and people having fun, for sure.
And we are now down with 2.5 rounds, a very tight battle unfolding, and looking forward to you guys joining us We'll see you guys for the conclusion of the 2021 Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships. Just a few holes left to play at Purple Park. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the back nine.